With the NFL offseason kicking off this week, I've been researching the different available free agents. When looking through a list of free agent rankings, one thing consistently stood out to me.
Drive starts at the 1 and looking for a little breathing room, and they get that and plenty more. Derrick Henry still going. Stays in bounds. He might go 99 yards.
Former Titans running back Derrick Henry, who is one of the top running backs in the league just a couple years ago, was usually ranked between 25th and 35th. Henry is one of 8 players to eclipse 2,000 yards rushing in a season, won the 2020 Offensive Player of the Year, has been to 4 Pro Bowls, including the most recent one. Why isn't Derrick Henry viewed as one of the most valuable free agents? The answer is that he is viewed as one of the most valuable running backs. The key word there is running backs. Running backs aren't valued as much in the modern NFL, especially above age 30. That's because running backs, on occasion, just fall off out of nowhere. No team wants to commit big money to a player that can be great one day and then wake up the next morning unable to perform. To back that up, here are the stories of 3 running backs who ran the league one day and disappeared the next.
Freeman on a toss, running left. Blocker in front of him, Matthews. Good start, and Freeman breaks loose. Devonte Freeman, welcome to the Super Bowl.
Number 1, Devonte Freeman. Florida State's running back Devonte Freeman was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in the 4th round of the 2014 NFL Draft. In his rookie year, Freeman got under 100 touches and didn't accomplish much. However, he showed the Falcons coaching staff just enough for him to be the featured back the next season. Freeman put the league on notice with the breakout 2015 season. He ran for 1,056 yards and 11 touchdowns and added 578 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. The big season earned Devonte Freeman his first Pro Bowl selection and second-team All-Pro honors. He proved his production wasn't a fluke by putting up almost identical stats the following year. Freeman had yet another good year in 2017, but was held back by concussion. While the concussion prevented Freeman from reaching his 3rd consecutive Pro Bowl, he did finish the year with a very respectable 1,182 scrimmage yards and 8 touchdowns. However, the injuries continued, and in 2018, Freeman suffered a groin injury and only played 2 games. He entered the 2019 season determined to get back on track, and the Falcons were very excited to get back their Pro Bowl caliber running back. Nevertheless, that was far from what happened. Excluding one good Week 6 performance against the Arizona Cardinals, Freeman was awful. In 14 games, Freeman only scored on the ground twice. He averaged 46.9 yards per game and 3.6 yards per carry, terrible compared to the 66.6 and 4.4 he averaged from 2015 to 2017. Due to his lack of production and large contract following the 2019 season, the Atlanta Falcons cut Devonte Freeman. The next season, as a result of Saquon Barkley tearing his ACL, the New York Giants signed Devonte Freeman. In New York, Freeman was a shell of his former self. After only racking up 230 scrimmage yards and 1 touchdown in 5 games, things took a turn for the worse and Freeman hurt his ankle. Between the ankle injury and testing positive for COVID-19, Freeman never got back on the field in the 2020 season. After the season, in January 2021, the New York Giants released Devonte Freeman. He spent time on the Buffalo Bills and New Orleans Saints practice squads before signing with the Baltimore Ravens in September. Following injuries to J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, and Gus Edwards, the Ravens were desperate for running back help. Freeman wasn't bad for the Ravens and did average 4.3 yards per attempt and scored 5 touchdowns. However, he didn't do enough to avoid being benched when the other running backs returned from their injuries. Despite having his best season years, Devonte Freeman didn't play another snap in the NFL after the 2021 season. Just like that, because of injuries and a lack of luck, in the matter of only a few years, Devonte Freeman went from being one of the best players in the league to being abandoned and unwanted.
10. This one floated from Lacy. He was left alone. Still on his feet. What a run. Touchdown.
2. Eddie Lacy. In 4 years at Alabama, Eddie Lacy made a name for himself as one of the nation's top running backs. The Green Bay Packers selected Lacy in the late 2nd round of the 2013 NFL Draft with high expectations. Lacy came to play immediately and took the league by storm. Lacy's 1,435 scrimmage yards and 11 touchdowns were enough to win him Offensive Rookie of the Year, along with both Pro Bowl and All-Pro honors. Lacy's 2014 season was even better, as he put up 131 scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns more than in his rookie campaign. His 2015 season was held back by minor injuries to his ankle and groin. Even though he only completely missed one game, it was evident that he was not the same. Lacy finished 2015 with a career-low 646 scrimmage yards and a career-low 5 touchdowns. In addition to his injuries, it was noticeable that Lacy had gained weight. Being a physical-style running back, Lacy's weight was once an advantage, but it began to slow him down too much. In 2017, Eddie Lacy played 5 games for the Packers. In those games, his yardage was looking good again, but he failed to find the end zone. However, he suffered an ankle injury and missed the majority of the season. Between the injuries, the gained weight, and the lack of touchdowns, the Packers decided not to renew Lacy's contract after 2016. On March 14, 2017, Eddie Lacy signed a 1-year, $5.5 million contract with the Seattle Seahawks. Lacy only played 9 games with the Seattle Seahawks and was underwhelming. After he only put up 2.6 yards per carry in 2017, the Seahawks elected not to renew Eddie Lacy's contract. Eddie Lacy didn't play another NFL snap after the 2017 season. Just like that, because of injuries and gain weight, in a matter of only a few years, Eddie Lacy went from being one of the best and most promising players in the NFL to being abandoned and unwanted.
Again, Gurley out of the backfield. Gurley's got a lot of room at the 25. Jumps over and trail roll.
3. Todd Gurley. Entering the 2015 NFL Draft, Todd Gurley was a top-tier running back out of Georgia. Even though running backs usually slide into draft, the St. Louis Rams scooped up Gurley with a 10th overall pick. Gurley immediately proved the risk worth it by putting together an incredible rookie campaign. Gurley's 1,294 scrimmage yards and 10 touchdowns were enough to earn him the Offensive Rookie of the Year award, a Pro Bowl selection, and second-team All-Pro honors. Due to a poor surrounding cast, his second year was a bit disappointing. However, he bounced back in fashion in 2017 by putting up over 2,000 scrimmage yards and 19 touchdowns. After winning the Offensive Player of the Year award in 2017, Gurley somehow was even more impressive in 2018. Despite missing 2 games, Todd Gurley put up 1,831 scrimmage yards and 21 touchdowns, solidifying himself as the best running back in the league. After the Rams lost in the Super Bowl, Gurley entered the 2019 season determined to run back the success and seal the deal this time. However, his lingering knee issues slowed him down. Gurley was still good in 2019, but he failed to reach 1,000 yards rushing on the ground and scored 7 touchdowns less than he did the previous season. Since Gurley was being paid to perform the way he did in 2017-2018, but wasn't quite doing so, on March 19, 2020, the Los Angeles Rams decided to cut Todd Gurley. That April, Gurley signed a 1-year, $5.5 million contract with the Atlanta Falcons. Gurley was solid with the Falcons, but was nowhere near what he once was. After racking up 842 scrimmage yards and 9 touchdowns in 15 games, Gurley hadn't shown the Falcons enough for them to extend his contract. Gurley didn't play in the 2021 season, and in an interview in October 2022, he confirmed that he was done playing professional football. Gurley's sudden decline is blamed on knee arthritis caused by tearing his ACL, but it's hard to know for sure. Just like that, because of injuries and a lack of luck, in a matter of only a few years, Todd Gurley went from being one of the best players in the National Football League to being abandoned and unwanted. Over the past couple of days, a handful of running backs such as Tony Pollard and Saquon Barkley have signed big contracts. Nevertheless, these contracts are considered big contracts for running backs, but would be laughable for impactful players at other positions. The highest paid receiver in the NFL is Tyreek Hill at $30 million a year, while the highest paid running back in the NFL is Christian McCaffrey at only $16 million a year. Based on what happened with Freeman, Lacy, and Gurley, it is safe to say that the salary gap is more than justified.
Drive starts at the 1 and looking for a little breathing room, and they get that and plenty more. Derrick Henry still going. Stays in bounds. He might go 99 yards.